Peace, and many blessings, y'all. It is your girl Sunshine, and this is Shine's Vibrations. I know I done got some emails. Excuse me for the replays, but life be lifing. And I had death in the family, as y'all remember. So I had to travel back to Jersey for the memorial service, and me and my sons got stuck on the highway. It was a whole bunch of mess. So had to, collect, regroup, and, recharge. But I'm back. And I cannot wait for y'all to meet tonight's guests. But before we do, y'all know I have to tell y'all about Pizza Twists. You know, open mic on Thursdays. I'll be hosting as well. Getting back to that next week. But anytime that you come through, you let them know Sunshine sent you. These will be your event coupons. And even if you go on a night that I'm not there, you let them know that, hey, I heard you on the Sunshine Vibrations podcast, and they'll hook you up. And yes, my sons and I have a book coming. I can do anything. I have to keep y'all reminded that we are getting things going. Amazon pulled a little what can I say, a little hook in the plan, but what we do, we see opposition, we go above and beyond, and we go beyond that. So, I will be getting back to y'all on that real soon. Those that asked about my year anniversary event, yes, appreciate y'all showing the love and all that good stuff. Um, but today in Charlotte, North Carolina, it turned out to be a beautiful day. 80 degrees today. This is what I love about being in the South and no longer being in Jersey, is because around this time I would have not been walking around like this back home. But now I have this guest. He's a dope brother. I love social media. For y'all that talk shit about social media, it is the people that y'all really mean. It's not the tool itself, because not all of us use social media to be toxic. I found this brother on TikTok, and TikTok is one of those that I am, still getting used to being a part of. So sometimes I'm neglectful. So those that follow me on TikTok, my bad. I will do better. I will start sending reminders to make sure everything that I post on IG and on Facebook, that it also gets to TikTok and also Snapchat. I'm working these, okay? I just got part of those this year. I think I've been on Snapchat for like maybe 3 months, and I've been on TikTok for maybe 6 months. So bear with me. My sons had a TikTok page before me because of their business, Royal Sons Enterprises LLC. So eventually my friends was like, no, Sunshine, you need one as well because you have the podcast. So I did. So stay tuned for that. Also, gotta check out my bruh, Chosen Destinations. Anybody that's trying to get anywhere, holla at me, and I will give you the info to make sure that my brother Micah could hook y'all up, because why not go somewhere with someone who has that chosen type of energy? Energy is big with me. So if I want you to plan something for me, your energy has to be righteous. So stick a pin right there, okay? Because you'll understand what I mean. Because also, I believe from my talks with my guests and from what I've seen on his page, that this brother lives a righteous life as well. And folks who don't understand, righteous doesn't necessarily mean religious. It is that do unto others as you want others to do unto you. You understand that in this life, it is about accountability and duality. And I cannot exist if you do not exist. So we need to coexist in this life peacefully so that we can obtain our goals, what we were designed to be and created to be. So with that being said, I do have a new spit, but what I'm going to do, no, I'm going to do my poem first, and then I will read the bio of our guest. So this one is titled, I've been playing around with the title of it, And you know how poets, we write metaphorically sometimes. So this one, just thinking about different games, that we have played over the years, when you get around family. So I use this type of topic by games, and it's titled Love's Games, which it may change though. But so far, this is the tentative title. Thank you for being so real. The love you deal got me feeling like I'm a steal of a lifetime. Doubling down in this game of us, operating in complete trust, a millionaire without needing a lifeline. This love is far from lacking, layered up, stacking like Uno. Immaculate touches manifesting jackpot winning orgasms like a tourist in Vegas and Reno. Removal of all stress, born you truth, still intense like a game of chess. Starting each day extra blessed. Your energy is amazingly divine. I swear I declare war on anyone thinking they can infiltrate what's mine. And I like that part because through the bio, you're going to find out why I like that part, because that last line kind of connects to our guest. So, tonight's guest, special guest, is K. Marte Richardson, originally from Columbus, Ohio, raised in a single parent home with his mom and grandmother as an only child. His mother was a career Army nurse officer, so lots of moving around both domestically and to foreign countries. He received his undergrad degree in business administration from Fayetteville State University and his MBA from Kaplan University. Went on to serve 4.5 years in the United States Army as a logistics officer. He started writing poetry in high school and had his first piece published in the state newspaper during his time in college. From there, he went on to have his first book published in 2009, Reflections of a Man's Soul, Volume 1. He's currently working as a transportation manager while residing in Jacksonville, Florida. During his free time, he spends time with his family, which includes his two boys, and continuing to build his social media presence and promote his poetry work. And just so y'all know, this is whom I am speaking of. And I like how he gave two different pictures too. You got the casual pic, and then you got the, let me throw on a little button up real quick for you. And here is his book, Reflections of a Man's Soul. And without further ado, let me go and bring him back from the green room. Peace, peace, peace. How are you, beloved?
I am doing fantastic, Queen. About yourself?
I am great. I am great. So, your bio was dope, as I mentioned when you sent it to me. Um, you gave a lot of information in that bio. So, because I know what you have, and like I told you at work, you had all the ladies just gawking, listening, because I was playing it on YouTube and I forgot that my Bluetooth wasn't connected. But they was like, no, 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 we on break. Let us listen. So they loved Genesis. They loved Oh, forgive me. I'm mad that I've done forgot it. We done talked so much about Genesis. Like that poem sparked the whole discussion in our class. So we're training in between, like mentoring and stuff for my position at work. So like they was just like, oh my gosh, that took away a lot of the stress. Because some people in there was very stressed. So when I tell you your words brought comfort to them, it made one girl was like, you know what, let me call my husband or apologize to him. Because the one poem that you have, The Sum of a Man, that's the one that made her walk out and go apologize to her husband on the phone. So I cannot wait to discuss these. So first things first, you did tell us where you was from and all of that. So what wasn't in the bio, what do you want the viewers to know about you?
for one, that I am a person that has been to a lot of different experiences, seen a lot throughout the life, and so it's all about expressing. Being an artist out of any form, any platform, it's always about sharing those expressions to people. And so I'm passionate about poetry. That's kind of like my form where I can kind of express some of these experiences, the emotions, the ups and downs of life. That's what it's all about.
That's right. That's right. So you didn't start writing until high school.
That's correct.
So what sparked that?
At first it was kind of trying to play a little fun with some of the friends. There was one of the friends in particular. I tried to do a poem. Probably was the corniest poem ever. I think it was on some roses red, vases blue stuff, right? So first it was that. It got more serious as I got into college. Again, it became one of those things where we kind of did it as an entertainment platform. We would try to do these little freestyles, and so we'd be cheating, trying to write stuff, and then it just kind of blossomed from that. I just kind of noticed that hey, there might be something here. I would read it to certain people in confidence, and they say, hey, I like it. And then as my confidence started growing with my writing and expressing it, it just took off from there.
Okay. So when you said you're confident, so how are you with performing? Because I know a lot of poets, they love to write, but when it comes to performing their own stuff, they don't. So they would like, be ghostwriters, and they would like for other people to, let me write for you and you perform it for me. So how are you about that?
So I'm still trying to work on the performance part, right? I'm comfortable enough where I can get up there, share. And it's funny because for a living, public speaking, I could do it, I can present anything, but it's just something about when you're presenting something that's personal and it relates to you, it's
That's
like it's a
right.
different nervousness, you know what I mean? It's
Yep.
almost like, okay, this is different because like when I get up here and I'm expressing a part of me, people may critique it, people may like it, they don't like it, and it kind of feels more personal depending on the feedback that you get on that.
Yeah.
So from that, I'm still trying to work on that. I was more active a couple years back, and that is something I'm looking forward to getting back into again. Kind of get on the scene, do some more open mics, and just kind of expand on my on that platform.
Well, I have a brother you said you're in Jacksonville still, right?
That is correct.
Okay, I have a brother. When I say I love this brother so much, and we have yet to meet in person. But when I tell you, like, cause it just so happened, he is a dope poet. I came across him, like I said, thanks to social media. I came across him, and it came to find out that we had mutual friends who actually they've been in the same space. So it was only natural. And then, when people talk about zodiacs, he's a Taurus just like me. So it's only natural that we're going to gravitate to each other. And he had this air, like when you talk about the confidence, like the performance, he's definitely in his own lane. And the way my brain works is that in order for me to make sure you understand my opinion or my critique of your work, I may compare you to someone who you may not think that you're worthy of. And it's only because if I'm listening to you, that's who came into my mind.
Mhm.
So he has this air, this energy. It was a poet, um, this brother who was murdered in Florida. I had the opportunity to meet him. And when I spoke about it to him, he said, wow, Sunshine. He said, that was actually my mentor.
Wow.
So this brother left like pieces of his soul in with him. And he said, Sunshine, you just don't know how that made me feel. He said, because I took that so hard and I got to know more of how they were connected. And I don't want to expose it until I have him back on my show and let him go further in depth about that. That's why I'm talking around it. But just to know that, I was right. You know what I'm saying? And then that
Yeah.
that gave him like that extra battery. And then he went through something. It was a hard, trying time, and I set him with a task. another poet friend of mine, homegirl, she just got married. So they just celebrated their year anniversary. And I asked him to commission a piece for them for this wedding. He was supposed to be there, he was supposed to perform it live, and he felt bad. I said, brother, send it to me. We could play it and they can listen to it. And that's exactly what happened. And it came over great. It was so dope. And he just thanked me like, sis, I appreciate you for, believing that I could do this. Like, trust me, you connected to me now. So don't think, like I told you, somebody tell me they looking for something. When I call on you, you better be ready for it
Oh,
because I
definitely. I look
will reach
forward to it.
back.
I look forward to
I will.
it.
Peace, peace. This is one of my bros, comedian extraordinaire, Uncle Weed TV. But uh, you know, that's my buddy right there. Peace, beloved. Thank you for coming through. I got a dope brother tonight that's gonna be repping for y'all. So, and we gonna have some of them real conversations too, because he right on board. So but with that, I'm going to make sure that I connect you with him because he does a lot of performing all through
Okay.
Florida. So, and I'm trying to make another trip down there so that I can actually do like a poet crawl where I could go to the different open mics and just take turns spitting on the mic. So, eventually Miami would be an area, going up to Arizona and Phoenix, trying to get these areas started so that we could do those types of things. So hey, might have to stop in Jayville because
All
that
right.
ain't nothing
Well,
but a
let's do
drive.
it. Let's
You
make
know
it
what
happen.
I'm saying? So
Yeah.
um so now that we know you didn't get writing poetry until high school, um, has poetry been therapeutic for you? Has it like helped you in some way in life?
Oh, definitely. Most definitely. In fact, I would say that I am an emotional writer, meaning that as you read my work, you can kind of literally tell kind of where I was in my mind state and my emotional state at that time. For me, there was be periods where if I'm going through something, the writing was the outlet. So I might write maybe a good 10, 20 pieces within 2 weeks, and then I may not write again for a year or two. That's just the way I kind of am. And so when I get emotionally triggered, that's usually has been my way of kind of expressing things. It's been that way since the beginning, and it's still that way today. Even now, I still write things, even if it's just something, just to scratch notes to come back to later. It's like, hey, well, how's my thing? My thoughts are going a certain way, or I
Right.
see something that reminds me of something, one of those poignant memories, and it's just going to trigger something. So that's how I function. So in that sense, that's probably one of the main reasons why I love poetry so much, because it's just one of those kind of, personal things where you can just kind of express yourself. You necessarily don't have to share with anybody, and it can kind of be something that you enjoy for yourself. You know what I mean? Versus
Yeah,
having to
like
share with anybody on the outside.
yeah, because like journaling. I tell people writing is a good thing because it allows people to get out or get off what's on them. And it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to share with anyone, but for you to go back and reflect. Because a lot of times you'll see the growth within yourself without anybody having to tell you.
Mhm.
Do you see that with your writing?
Yes, definitely. When I look at some of my older stuff, I can see that progression. It's not just in the skill of the writing, but just also in my thoughts, like how I put them together. The flow of the words, the flow of the rhythm. It's just like anything else. You put the time into it, and you do it enough, it just kind of improves over time, right?
Uh-huh. Up, you got some people in the chat. The Angie effect. She said, "Hey, Cuzzo, keep on showing up, King." And then we have John Duckworth. You keep it 100, so you keep it a buck, huh? That's what's up. So, have they been some of the people that you've shared some of your art with before you put it out
Yes.
there?
In fact, Mr. Duckworth is my uncle. Shout out to him.
All right, what up, Unc?
I always appreciate the love and support. He's always there.
Man, let me tell you something. I got an uncle like that too. My uncle is Uncle Mike. When I tell you, showing up and showing out and being there and supportive for everything, I
Mhm.
understand it. My father was incarcerated for a good majority of my life. My mom was one of those lost cases back in the 90s in Harlem
Hmm.
Hospital that passed away due to the AIDS epidemic. And so I was kind of left with like the village to raise me. But my Uncle Mike, boy, when I tell you the extra confidence that I have when people ask me how you so confident, no, because all you need is one. All you need is one person to have your
That's
back
all you need. That's
and
all you
push
need.
you and love on you and push you. So salute to you, Unc. He said, "What up, Neff?" Like even in that, I could feel the love right there. Like, look, y'all gonna make me start tearing and I'm gonna get emotional. Cause you know what? It's a line in that movie, The Brothers. Have you ever seen that?
Yeah, I have.
Okay, so Jennifer Lewis, she plays
Uh-huh.
Morris Chestnut Mama, when she goes, I just love how my black men just loving on each other. Like I'm like that. Like I'm really like that. Like I love it. I love to see brothers show love to each other because the media will make us think that we are not capable of doing so. So, in our own creative spaces, we need to make sure that we are part of the forefronters, to let people know, lo, this is how we really are. Don't believe what the masses put out there, even though there are some of us that is putting that stuff out there ourselves.
Yeah.
you
Yeah, I
know,
you know what? I could agree with you more, especially now with the social media age. I mean, every time you turn around, you're seeing negativity. It's between, black men and black women. It's about, men being deadbeat fathers, men being, negative influence in society. Whatever you go, it's just always negative
negative.
things that are put out, and not enough, the positivity is highlighted because you got some good brothers and sisters out here that are doing some amazing things. You got great mothers, great fathers, great leaders in your communities. You got people who are doing things and making a difference in this world. And I just feel like we just got into the point of society where it's more, clicks and likes to focus on all the negativity instead of
Yeah.
all the positive that's out there. And I think that's something that we all have to kind of take accountability for in our own individual lives and kind of highlight that more.
Yep, because you got loud and wrong, wrong and loud, and then you got
Yes.
right and light. You know what I'm saying? So people who do the right things, they don't get that shine like they should. So, which is another reason why I have my podcast. Dwayne Smith, I know that's somebody for you. He said, "God bless." Um, and because you already was leaned into what we were discussing backstage, I'm going to pause right there and let us do our blast music artist of the week because I know once we get into that topic, I want to get right into your poetry. Is because your poetry, like I said, it pretty much like blows the water out of all of that mess that is going on now on social media between us, like the black man versus the black woman, and it's like no other group is doing this, and people don't understand we're entertainment for the rest of the world. I get asked questions by the others. Why do we do that publicly? We would never do that. We do that at home. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
why
Yep.
do y'all feel so comfortable? Hey, don't say y'all because I don't do that shit. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely want to get into that. But we're gonna pause right there. Who's on the door? Come on, mama. See, I told you my niece. See, all the time. If I tell her no, she gonna scream. Hold on 1 second. Come on, mama. So yeah, y'all know she ain't been here in a while. So come on, mama. Say peace. This
Hey,
is my
cutie.
niece Janala. So we about to break for music, okay? All right, and we'll be back.
Know your history, no herstory, all the lies and the perjury, the despising the first degree murdering, all the journaling, under the guise of furthering a country so disturbing. Its word is not worth a Burger King sandwich or merch for purchasing. Pain and hurt is resurfacing, hanging, choking and gurgling. Slave behavior of worshipping slave owners that purposely raped us all perversely. Tear jerking is urgent, the serpent lurks in a person with no emotion or nurturing traits. Only through conversing can we help reverse all this hate. All human shades engage the universal debate. Inside thought we all the same color, matching curtains to drapes. And for certain we're great. You might be nervous to shake my hand or give me a hug, but that's perfect. Let's take this heavy project slow to properly interpret the weight. I'm serious, this ain't no joke, throwing dessert in your face. No matter your temple, your mosque, or your church, or your faith.
It's been what your elders did was a sin. Publicly and on the couch while you sit with your kids. Then now you're supposed to let that N-word flip out again. Then and only then can we begin to be friends.
I'm online trying to create a course like Excite Bike, and saw they overturn Roe verse Wade overnight. Like women don't have a right to choose what they do with the lifelike. Then I heard Mary Miller say thank you for saving white life. Her people tried to cover it like it's an oversight, but it's noticeable and clear as day like it's an overbite. Mary's hate spews for fake Jewish cheers. Obi Trice, don't support me if you go into battles like Yorkies fight. Behold the spite, me hombre writes. He's a showman, a snowman, frozen the coldest heights. My condolences for these moments when my composure seems to be its lowest, and my demeanor appears to be meaner, bleak and ferocious. Cause what we did for this world to be treated like this atrocious. Marvel characters based off black gods, hypnosis. If you don't speak on El Kibulon murder, you condone it. No more is waiting, it's time to stand and take the atonement.
It's man creating atonement to resonate with God and the God particle. Are all laws and all laws articles of clothing I'm holding my John R. son. Mystified by different lies stating that we are not awesome. Apart from inflation and pandemics, we race in a plan destined to erase us from man's heaven on earth on the block. This plot was clandestine since birth. My girth is of Goliath, but I'm cunning like David. When it all don't add up, I'm the sum of my favors. I come from a flavor that runs from the blood of the braver, the ones that won't waver when God comes. What you gon' say, bruh? Did you fight the dark providing the light? Is your heart colliding with spite? Did you bark without all of the bite? Did you talk with all of your might despite all of the judgment? My plight, strong and is pungent, your sight, wrong and repugnant. Uniting gods in abundance, my circumference is of that of Aldebaran. Got it from Archangel Michael, I call his helm Metatron. Stepping on the neck of Antares, don't disrespect what a star is. I promise I won't stop this till I saw this quantum colossus. On Mars in this war, y'all are just novice.
Oh, 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 oh. We all come from the darkness. We are one with the sun. Oh, 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 oh. We all come from the darkness. We are one with the sun. Oh, 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 oh. We all come from the darkness. We are one with the sun.
Wow, Yamasani, when I tell y'all, he is my favorite. I love Yamasani so much. So hold on. Now, if you are an independent artist or a spoken word poet or even an up and coming comedian looking for some extra exposure, then you head on over to blastmusic247.com and register for the what? FREE free. But hold on, blast music isn't just for the artists, it's also for the fans. So if you love great music, like what you just heard, I'm trying to tell y'all, I love Yamasani. I always talk about him all the time. And you want to hear hundreds of more artists like him who was willing to share their music with us, then you need to go ahead and register for blastmusic247.com for what? The free. And that's blastmusic247.com, changing the industry one artist at a time. So, getting back to it, my bad, beloved, but that's my peoples I was telling you about, the boxer that commented. He said the God bless was for the story, what you said about your mom and about my mom. So, that was dope. But I thought he was one of your, see, when folks, that's his government name. I didn't get the government name. You feel what I'm saying? So I didn't know that was him. But yes, so you had to segue into what you talked about, the battle of the war of us, I would say. So, recently on social media, you got I don't know who these group of women are, first and foremost, because ain't nobody asked me no questions. So that stupid list of places not to go on a first date, let me tell you something. I don't drink Starbucks. But on the first date, we gonna go get some coffee because I don't know you. You know, like you get what I'm saying? This is during the day. I'm not going nowhere with you at night because I don't know you because it's too much going on nowadays, to be honest. And you wanna engage with the opposite sex, hoping that everybody's intentions are pure. But let's just be real. A lot of people ain't operating like that. But that
That's true.
But that list, now I haven't eaten food. I'm gonna be honest. At the Cheesecake Factory, when it first opened up, I just went there for what it said. Cheesecakes. They had all these different cheesecakes with all these different flavors. That's the only reason why I was there. When it first opened up in Jersey, we went to the one in New York, and then I went to one in Greensboro, North Carolina, and I haven't been since. It's not because I don't like the place. It's just that I went there. Okay, I didn't see the hoopla about it. The cheesecake was good. I'm good. Now, that doesn't mean if somebody's like, hey, I want to take you out on a date, let's go there. I'm not going to turn my nose up. I'm going to be like, okay, let's go. What's your take on that?
Ooh, yeah, that was the hot viral video of the past 2 weeks, right? Ah, man. So, yeah, I had a friend show me that. It's quite entertaining. So, I'm like you. I don't know where they find these people at, right? Because I can't personally relate to somebody that on that level, but I will say that I have heard from some of my friends that they've had, similar experiences to that, where there's these high expectations on a first date where you just meet it for the first time. We don't know each other, but somehow I'm supposed to wine and dine you.
You got to
Where
earn that.
you know what I mean? And that's how I feel. Like, first day is usually supposed to be more kind of a laid back, chill, kind of get to know you feel. I got a little old school in me, so it used to be back in the day. You ask a woman on a date, it's like, hey, what time I come pick you up, stuff like that, right? Take them to a little restaurant, maybe a dinner and a movie. But times have changed. And like you said, now it's gotten to the point where it's like, hey, we might meet up somewhere. It could be something like a Starbucks or something small, just to kind of get a feel and see, first of all, if we feel each other like that. You know what I mean? And then you kind of go from there. So, for my man there to take her to the Cheesecake Factory, which in my experience is not that cheap.
And
So,
I don't even know
you know,
that. You feel what I'm saying? So
hey,
I don't
I'm
know.
just saying, I don't know what's wrong with the Cheesecake Factory, but apparently, you know, girlfriend was not hearing it that time, and then taking it to the next level where she actually live stream it. That's a whole different level, right? Because that's already in her mind. She feel like this is supposed to be the norm. You know what I mean? And that's the problem, right? It's like where did that become the norm? Where you on a first date with somebody that you just want to put them on blast on social media like that and talk about how they're not whining down to you the first time they meet you.
Yeah, because
So,
see, like my whole thing is first of all, your expectations need to be set for the pool that you're in.
hmm
So, and this is no disrespect to the brothers, but if he is not a seven-figure brother, why would you expect a seven-figure date? I just don't get it. You feel what I'm saying? Like how the saying goes, know your constituents. Know who you dating. Like know who you got in front of you. Like if like my whole thing is if like there's this spot here in Charlotte called Freddie V's or something like that, and I heard it's like a real big to do steakhouse, which is supposed to be more than like Ruth Chris or something like that. Now don't get me wrong, all them places I can take myself to. I've taken myself on a lot of dates, places where I've wanted to go. Hey, I'll call a home girl or hey, let's go here, whatever. And the dude that I'm dating, I'll be like, hey, let's go out to eat on me. I noticed that there's not women that are doing that at all. Like, I believe in going Dutch. You know what I'm saying? Hey, we meeting up somewhere, but I'm expecting to pay for whatever I want because I'm gonna eat what I want to eat. So I'm gonna pay for it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not
yeah.
expecting for you to.
Nah, I think it's a generational thing, right? Because we kind of, we on a different generation. So I can say I have ran into plenty of women that on that same level, right? They got no problem taking themselves out. They have no problem treating a man out if he's worth that, or being equal partners. And I just think that, that brings so much more value to the woman themselves when they can stand on their own and bring something to the table. Because my feeling is if you want a 6-figure, 7-figure man, whatever the case may be, I feel like you need to be on that same level then. Like you asking for something, why are you gonna ask for something that's above your level with expectations if you're not even there, right?
That's why
So
I
that's
said
my mindset.
know the pool that you dating in, boo, because they don't
Hmm.
understand it. Like Angie said, it's all about the meet and greet. I may not even like him. Who knows? I'm okay with that list. She doesn't speak for me. Exactly. Like that's what I'm saying. Like again, they said these group of women. Who is these women? Because I'm 42. So they say that Gen X is 43. Well, y'all need to go on and push me over to them is because I was in that same ones, the ones with the key, getting in the house, in and out by yourself, cooking whole meals by the age of 7. That was me, okay? So I know what it is, but my whole thing is if no one ever taught me this, if it's my idea and this is who I'm dating, I'm expecting to pay because it was my idea. This is where I wanted to go, you know? But
Hmm.
I've been on dates where the guy would get upset because I want to leave the tip. You know what I'm saying? Like if you paid for the meal, let me get the tip. If we go to the movies is like going to a damn restaurant now. So
That's true.
if you paying for the tickets, I got the refreshments because they bout to balance out to be the same damn price. But you have some men who will feel emasculated by a woman who's willing to do that. How do you feel about that?
You know what? I think when I was a little younger, I had a little bit of that because that's kind of how I was. It was kind of ingrained into my mind by other men, and of course by society. It's like, all right, I got to pay for everything, right? And then over time, I was like, all right, I got to relax a little bit. I mean, I still feel that way. Like I'm going to lead, especially if I'm the one that invites you on a date. I feel like if I'm the man and I'm inviting you or asking you out on a date, it's my obligation with the intent. I'm going to pay, right? I'm going to cover stuff. But I have no problem if you're like, hey, you covered the meal, let me get the tip, or if you say, hey, I appreciate you getting the movie, but let me handle the refreshments, I ain't gonna fight you. You know what I mean? I don't think that should emasculate a man. In fact, I think it should be the other thing. It should be a respect factor because what you're seeing in this woman is she's not just about herself. You know what I mean? That's how I look at it. I look at a woman that's not selfish, that's not about her, that's willing to share and be a part. That's the kind of little things that kind of give you some insight into who you're dealing with. You know what I mean?
Like they say, pay attention to the little things because the little things
Yes,
is what
always the little things.
which always ends up being the bigger thing. So,
Hmm.
like I said, now your poetry, the one in particular, I gotta go back to my notes. Yeah, I made notes on
Uh,
you. Especially how you had the women at my job today. Just so y'all know, the women when we was on break, you know what I'm saying? These women was going crazy. And literally, this one poem that he has called "The Sum of a Man" made one of my coworkers get up off her ass and go in the hallway and call her husband apologize to him. And when I say I love that, I love it. She said, Mo, now I get what you've been saying all this time. She said, listening to his poem, now I understand what you've been saying. What's your uncle say? The purpose of a date is to get acquainted, and Dutch is a brilliant idea. These days, a sister can't let everyone pick them up from their homes. Stop. Exactly. Exactly. My uncles always told me, my grandfather always told me, make sure, no matter even if the man say he got it, you always make sure you got money in your pocket because you never know what may happen. Not
exactly,
saying nothing against
exactly.
the man, but anything can happen. And also to make sure, you let him know, like, hey, don't worry about it, don't trip. I got in on this. Because again, if you are dating with a purpose to, eventually move forward, you need to know if the woman sitting across from you is really a partner in this. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Everybody think this whole submission thing has to be on one side. Submission is a give or take. It's balance. It's the yin and the yang. And the things that we do for each other, the submission comes naturally. The
Hmm.
fact that a brother tell me, "Oh, I got it," knowing that you got it is enough security for me. But guess what? I got it too, boo. You know what I'm saying? You
Hmm.
know, so you give out 100, I'm giving out 100. So if one of us falls, all them hundreds we've been putting out, we can deal with the fact that one got to give 75 right now, or the other one got to do 50. But it shouldn't matter if it's a partnership. You know what I'm saying? This
I
whole
agree.
this whole thing of, oh well, I want you to pay the bills, but then I expect you to do all of this stuff that my mama did for me. I have two sons, you have two sons, and I already know more than likely you probably teaching your sons on
Yeah.
what they should do and what they shouldn't do. And my sons already know they know how to cook, clean, and they wash their own clothes, and they 9 and 11. So they don't need a woman to do none of that. The woman gonna have to come with some real substance for them, because they're gonna be like, I know how to do all of that. My mom showed me how to do that. You're gonna have to come with something better than that.
Nah, I'm definitely with you.
So since this poem was so profound at work, would you mind sharing that one? Because is this one in that book?
You talk about my Ebony Rose?
Now I want you to share that one, but the Sum of a Man, is that one in the same book?
Yeah, the Summer Man is in the same book.
Okay. Would you mind sharing that one? Do you know that one by heart? But if you gotta read it,
I
that's
don't know. I don't know that one by heart, and I actually don't have it the in front of me. Now I do know my Ebony Rose by heart.
okay. So at this point, since I brought it up, normally I do this at the end, but tell people where they can find it.
So you can find it a couple ways. So it's basically available on any kind of platform, whether it's you go to Amazon. I have a direct website. I think you also will have at the end. It should be on that one link I gave you. That's got all my social media. There's an actual book site with Libris.com where you can actually find it. But pretty much any platform that sells books, you can find it.
Okay.
Amazon is the foremost.
And yes, y'all go on YouTube, and his YouTube page is Soul of a Man 1980, correct?
That is correct.
So if you see it, it's a picture of a brother with a look like he got a fedora on and he hugging a sister. That's the one. Yeah, I told you we was on it today.
Yeah, or pretty much you could just do a search on my name, just put K Marte Richardson, Reflections of Man Soul, and it's gonna pop up.
And Angie said exactly. So I believe she agreed with me. And then I appreciate you. Look, I appreciate you, Unc. he said he he said he applauds me for raising functional young men. Yeah, I have to, because it's too many of what I don't like. And this has been a post of mine on social media. I do
Mhm.
not like black women who raise black sons talk bad about black men, because those black sons will soon be the black men that you are already talking about. And if you, there's no way you can have that much toxicity towards whom you're supposed to be grooming to be. There's no way the
Yes.
two can coincide. Um, my sons, regardless of what I go through with the father, you know what I'm saying? Like, they made their own sum. They know who's present and they know who's not. And that in itself should leave all the talking. They shouldn't have to hear me say. And even my youngest is so, what's the word, he's so involved in me. You know how they say that mama's boy, the baby boy, a lot of time be the mama's boy. But both of my sons are mama's boys. Y'all probably hear them
Hmm.
right now because they're making a whole hell of a lot of noise right now in the hallway. But um they watch what I do. And my youngest, I swear, talking to him sometimes, I'm like, did you come from me? Did I do this? Because he has such grown up conversations with me, and he's so concerned with my mental health and my
Hmm.
well being at 9 years old. every time people tell me, "Oh, your sons are so this and so that," okay, make sure your daughters is that so they ready for my sons. Don't let your daughters be the reason that my sons become toxic. You get what I'm saying? Because a lot of times we done had so many bad relationships that we really don't know how to not carry that on into the next. And a lot of times, in defense of the brothers outside of you, because you talked about how great your mother was and how great your grandmother was. But a
Hmm.
lot of times, in my experience, whether it's been someone that I was dating or just the brothers that I'm cool with that I've grown up with, a lot of times the reason why they have become toxic and they have become these so-called bad men is because of the mama that they had raising them. All they heard was negativity. All they heard was basically like the mama in Boys in the Hood in the beginning. What she tell Doughboy? You ain't gonna be shit. Your daddy ain't shit. You ain't shit.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like that thing
Yeah,
right
it just reinforces the negativity.
there. Exactly. And I'm not for that. I'm all about breaking generational curses. I'm all about
Hmm.
reversing negative cycles. And the more negativity that's out there, we have to pour that much love and positivity out. Like, forget double, you got to do that 10, 20 fold in order to kill all this toxicity that's out here now. It's extra work, it's tiresome, but it's worth it. So with Ebony Rose now, Ebony Rose. Now we had a conversation about erotic poetry. So my homegirl said Ebony Rose sort of kind of can be in both because
Yeah, it's kind of on that
there's,
line, right?
yeah, there's levels to erotica that we talked
Uh,
about. Now that poem is like a dope
mm,
introduction to someone who may not know what erotic poetry is, but it's also very subtle to where it just makes you think and appreciate the woman that you may have in your corner. So I definitely want you to share that one.
okay, I could do that one. All right, so let's do my Ebony Rose.
All right. How's the music? Do you need me to turn it down?
Yeah, you turn down just a little bit, unless you got something a little more, set the mood.
Well, I don't let my producer. Well, that's his track, and that's the one that I fell in love with. So I didn't even listen to the rest of them. That's the one that I use for all my podcast interviews.
Hey, well, I'll make it work. I'll make it work.
Okay.
All right, so my Ebony Rose, so sweet and full of life. I crave the taste of her delight, the taste of brown sugar resting on my tongue as the air of her fragrance continues to fill my lungs. Like a breath of fresh air, I could be surrounded by chaos and not even care. Knowing she is at my side, there's nothing about love that I can hide. Her passion consumes me with no remorse. She is the balance to an unstoppable force. A juggernaut of sensuality, she intensifies every sense within me. A spark that ignites my fire. I need her touch to extinguish my desire. And as she caresses me with that soft touch, I'm reminded of why I desire her so much. With that beautiful brown skin, to her will I must bend. For she is a precious rose that grew from this earth, that has blessed this world since her birth. I embrace all that she has to offer. Even as the world tells me I shouldn't bother, the world tells me that she is unstable, that her attitude makes her unable to accept the love that I have to give, that pride and pettiness is all she has to give, that all she does is fuss and fight, that she only blames others when she's not right, that she walks around with this chip on her shoulder, placed there by those who wouldn't hold her, those who once had this perfected rose and took it for granted, fueling the pain inside her has been cemented. A flawed rose she may be, but she will always be perfection to me. And I wish to hold on to the seeds of her soul in the hopes of forever making our love grow. And if she's not meant for me, that I hope someone else will care enough to let this rose be, to be better than what someone told me. My Ebony Rose, nothing can take her place.
That one It's profound because you took the time to applaud whomever this woman is, or it could be the essence of just the woman in general. So, first, you already know is what inspired this poem. Since you said you are an emotional writer,
Yes, I am. So at the time, I was dating a young lady because this poem goes back. I want to say at least maybe about 15, 16 years. Actually,
15,
yes.
16 years, but it's so needed today. Look at that.
Yes, yes. And so at the time I was dating a young lady. So it definitely was a combination of that and also just in general, because at the time I was thinking, what's a way I could express my love for just, this ebony goddess to be at that time, right?
Hmm.
And then also kind of encapsulate, my ebony sisters as a whole, like what makes them beautiful and just kind of, and it's kind of was a poem to kind of respond, which is funny because, we got this topic even then, it was to respond to all the negativity, where everybody's always, telling us that the sisters got too much attitude, right? They too broken, they too crazy, they too angry. And it was just to try to reinforce, like, nah, this is what's going on. It's like she has to deal with all this stuff she has to deal with, all this pain that we've caused her, all this stuff she's have to bear, that we're the ones that are responsible to take this burden off of her. That's what we need to be doing. You know what I mean? So it's just something to kind of counter that negativity all the way back at that time.
Man, because it's so much better when you can approach the subject in that way. People
Mhm.
don't really recognize that it is your delivery, it is the approach. It no longer becomes about the subject. In any exchange and any disagreement, it's never the topic. Oh, well, she
Mhm.
shouldn't have said it like that. It's her mouth. Oh, it's his mouth. And then, but but can we
Yes.
stay on topic? Like, I don't care how it came out. Did you listen to what they said? Because how it was delivered was basically either the quotations or the exclamation points if this was a written conversation. That's all. You know what I'm saying? Like, they get too
Hmm.
hung up on the emotion and not what's being conveyed. And that's where we lose it with each other. Everybody is in their feelings. Like Kevin Hart says, say it with your chest. No, sometimes you need to get up out of your chest because when you put it, sometimes we are placing emotion in places that it doesn't need to be. And when it comes to a conversation like a meeting of the minds, you should remove emotion from that so that you can really hear each other. And I believe poetry allows us to do that. It allows us to feel that void because, again, I keep reverting back to my coworker. That poem really, like, it did something to her where she felt bad. Like, she said, I already know what kind of weekend I'm going to have. I got a lot of making up to do because I was just all wrong. She said, I was wrong, wrong, wrong.
See, that's awesome. I like to hear that. Like when you know that your words impact somebody, to me that's the ultimate compliment. If people can like relate to what you're saying, like they can actually in that moment where they either they reading it or hearing it from you, they connect, right? That's ultimately the artist's goal, no matter what you do, right? Music, writing, painting, whatever. You want people to connect to your work, and so it's fantastic to hear that feedback.
Yes, yes. And then, I told him, I said, yeah, he has two sons. They was like, oh, well, his boys is gonna be fine. Like they was already saying it. Like, as long as he's like that, oh, his sons are gonna be fine. They're gonna be great young men. Like you became the discussion today. I wish you was like a fly on the wall, so that you could really, get the full energy of everything. And I just was like, damn, I gotta find a way to record these conversations next time and play them during the shows. But yes, like and to be honest, your poetry regardless, because with writing it's timeless. So even though it took place 15, 16 years ago, it is very, very prominent now. Like that's part of the tools that's going to be needed to corral us to get back together to where we used to be at one point. Because I don't know about you, but from what I remember, when we were growing up, it was more about loving each other and being there. The man, woman, and child, the black man, the black woman, like we was
Hmm.
always together. It was always something bringing us together. And the more and more we get into this social media age, it's really becoming more of a tool to tear us apart.
Yeah, it's all about communication, right? I think when you've got social media, it's kind of taking people away from that face to face, right? That hanging out face to face, that closeness, having to have those personal conversations where now you can get away with like sending a message, a direct message, or even with the phone, right? Everybody's into texting. So it's like technology kind of takes us away from making those connections we used to make. Because it used to be, you had to talk to people direct, face to face all the time. What is your friends, your relationship? You had to communicate. So it's just technology. It's got its benefits, but like you said, it also can be very detrimental to how we progress.
David Weston said, "That's my boy."
Shout out to David.
And then Unc
Duval
said,
County finest.
"Oh, that's Duval County. Okay." And then
uh,
Unc said, "Divide and conquer can't be successful in our community. We are stronger together." Yes, we definitely are.
yes.
You know, and as I subscribe and live to, I do my best with my poetry. It's activism. It's about bringing a community together. And also, I do a lot. Some of the poetry I do is, kind of corralling the sisters to come together more. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
But I do get a little backlash because they feel that I support y'all too much. And I'm like, who else am I going to support? The
yes.
black man was designed and created for me. So why am I not writing about him? Why would I not? Like, what do you mean? Y'all have like the biggest targets on y'all back every day that y'all leave out of y'all homes. And I try to get the sisters that I speak with, because again, they're hurt. So you got to
Hmm.
past that hurt. Like, I've been there. I've been in an abusive relationship where, somebody feel like they got the right to do that, but you can see I ain't no small girl, so that's not an issue. You
Hmm.
know what I'm saying? But to know, because my uncles ain't play that, my grandfather ain't play that. He was a Marine, okay? So you already know what I got over here.
Oh
My
yeah, hey, I
and
know
I'm
all about those Marines.
and I'm a sharpshooter too, so yes, I'm a 2%er over here, nice and proud. I carry mine openly and concealed legally. So, but it's just that being through all of that, that doesn't mean that all of y'all are the same. I can't.
Yeah, I think that's the point right there, right?
Yeah,
Because for me as a man, I feel like, and I'm sure some other men can relate to me on this one. I feel like sometimes women forget that we are human too. We get the same emotions as you do. Now that we may not be as vocal about it, we may not be as expressive about it, but we do get those emotions. There's times where we're feeling insecure about things, or we're being depressed, or we feel like too much stress is on us and stuff like that. So that's why we balance each other out. There's a reason why God made a man and a woman. You know, they are perfect balance. One is supposed to balance the other. So when you're missing one or one is completely off, it throws the whole balance out, right? And that's
that's
what we
right.
see throughout society. When we're not on the same page, especially in our community, look at what we have. All the things that happen, and that's what it comes down to. And I think it's just a vicious cycle. Like you said, you're trying to break the generation curse because we have a history of trauma, being hurt, and there's always this expression that hurt people, right? When you hurt, your tendency is to hurt people going forward. You just repeat that pattern, and that's why we got to get out of that. We got to break that. You
That's
know,
that's right.
and I think it
And
comes to having these conversations.
exactly because and I do get what y'all say, even on some of the social media platforms. This thought mentality, this city girl mentality, you know,
uh-huh.
the honorable Elijah Muhammad said,
Hmm.
a nation is only as strong as its women.
He's
But
right.
those aren't the women that speak for the lot of us. They are just the ones
Hmm.
that get highlighted the most. You know what I'm saying? While the rest of us that don't subscribe to that type of nature, we're in the background doing all the work. But yet, as you mentioned backstage, like we have to change our environment and change what we're looking at. The sister can have the big booty, but the booty is supposed to be icing on the cake. This sister, she got a job, she independent, she doing what she doing, and she got a fatty. Like that's how it should be, But I hear the conversations. I get on my brothers. I be like, okay, but what's she working with up here? Oh, dang, I don't know. I just know when I saw her. See, that's the problem. Cause then a week later, you on the phone with me. Dang, sis, let me tell you about that. Nah, I don't want to hear it because you was looking with the wrong head. You know what
Exactly,
I'm saying?
exactly, and that's the other part of it too, man. And that's the other part of having positive men role models. Men that can actually show these young men, how you supposed to treat how you supposed to support your family, how you supposed to treat your kids, how you treat your fellow man out there, how you carry yourself. That's missing a lot too. You got a lot of people growing up where they don't know how to be. There's nobody to show them how to be a man. They just looking for whatever they can as an example and just feeding off of that, and it just repeats. They have kids, they don't know how to properly raise them because they weren't raised right, right? It's
Mhm.
that pattern.
And then some of them feel, oh well, I had to go without, or I had to experience this, so if my kids got to go through it, oh well, I went through it, and look at me. But you broken. Why would
Hmm.
you want to continue brokenness? You should be the opposite. Yes, Janala. She said it's me. Like that's my brother's daughter. You know what I'm saying? Like, and
Okay.
and she is just such a what could I say, a breath of fresh air, just the love, watching her grow, I love hearing how she just screams out auntie all the time, you know what I mean? Because when they respond like that, it's the love. Like the way my son is both of them are so concerned with what goes on with me. Mommy, how was work? Everything okay? Did anybody stress you today? Like if I kind of like sit down on a couch and if I close my eyes, next thing you know, I got a blanket on me. I'm waking up, all the lights is off because mommy had a rough day. Let's just make sure that she's okay.
Hmm.
And I know that's a response to what I put into them, but I always put more pressure on me because I always feel like there is more that I can do, that there is more that I could pour into them. Like it's
Hmm.
never not enough for me. So people be like, relax. No, I can't relax. It's because the moment I relax, that's when society, their view, starts to infiltrate their mind and take over. So I got to be on full, over throttle, extra drive to make sure that I'm doing whatever to block that.
I feel you on that, man. It's like, that's the ultimate pressure of being a parent, especially in today's world. It just seems like it's just so many forces out here that working against you. You know what I mean? Like
Hmm.
it's hard, just even think about when you every day you let your kid out here, the stuff they got to go around, the stuff they got to be exposed to. I mean, for me, it gives me sleepless nights. You know what I'm saying? Even at the age they are, because my boys are 9 and 7, and already some of the stuff I've heard them, say that they seen or experienced,
That's right.
it gives me chills, man. It's definitely not easy. For a lot of these parents out here, it's definitely not trying to do the right thing and avoid some of these landmines that are out here.
Yeah, yeah. Look, Unc says sisters must have standards or non-standard will be their standard among brothers. Sisters teach us how to treat them positively or negatively. You right, Unc. Unc ain't never
Yep,
lied. Everything he said
yep.
on here, it's the same
Hey,
stuff that my uncle told me and my grandfather told me.
hey, Uncle Bright, Uncle on point every now and then. Nah, I give him some props.
Look, look,
I
look,
give him his props when he earned
look, when you earn it, Unc, look, you already know what that means.
it.
But indeed, like it's definitely refreshing knowing that what I know is to be true and that
Mhm.
there's more brothers out here like you. You know what I'm saying? And I will stand on my soapbox and say this because, like I said, I don't know what kind of brothers y'all know, but I know some. I know some that are better fathers than the mothers that I know.
Mm,
You know what I'm saying? I know fathers that have full custody and doing their damn thing with their sons.
yep, Yep.
And
You don't hear those stories though.
oh yeah, they will never, because it doesn't fit the mold, like what they're trying to portray. It doesn't fit their agenda. But there is so many of you that are out here that don't get your shine about how great you are pouring into your children, not just your
Mm,
sons, your daughters too, because again, whatever's lacking in the relationship and you choose to not be with the mother, as long as you're still present for the seeds, that's what matters. The co-parenting aspect, because people think that just because you're together you don't co-parent. No, when you're together you're
mm.
still co-parenting.
That's
It
right.
doesn't
That's right.
change. If you're married, if you're living in the same house and you're not married, you're still co-parenting. But then when you separate, you're just co-parenting from two different roofs, like, but it's still the same thing. So I don't get the pressure, because there's people who were in homes that looked like they were perfectly married, but behind the scenes the marriage was shit. And then those kids come out of that like, I don't never want to be married because my mom, what she suffered by my dad. Like, I know people who think that it's okay to be abused. Like,
Mm.
they may have been the siblings or the relatives to the man who's the abuser, but it's because they've watched their own father do that to their mother. So if their brothers is doing that, oh well, my dad did it, so that's fine. They'll be willing to fight the sister because the sister done got her to come help her out. But then that's his woman. He's supposed to be, no. You ain't never supposed to put your hands on nobody in a relationship. And a woman,
Agreed.
and from what my uncle told me, no woman's mouth, I don't care how nasty and reckless it is, as a man, you are supposed to be able to control yourself, to remove yourself from that situation. But I know men who feel that women who get out of pocket with their mouth deserve to be beat. And
Well,
somehow in their head, they
mm,
have said, oh, well, she shouldn't have did what she did. She shouldn't have said what she said. Like, are you serious?
yeah, yeah. The fact comes, no matter what, you don't put your hands on anybody, and it goes both ways. Same thing with
Yes,
women. We
it
teach them as
does.
well. Don't put your hands on men because unfortunately, not every man is going to be able to control themselves. Just like every woman
Eh,
can't control themselves, it works both
exactly.
ways. You know, you
Yeah,
don't want you
exactly.
want to risk somebody putting their hands on you. Don't put your hands on them.
That's why I said what I said. And you see, I ain't no small chick. So you gonna put your hands on me. This ain't gonna be no easy win over here. So you better come with everything because I might not leave
uh,
you standing. You know what I'm saying? Like that type thing. Like I saw a little meme, like even further, that the disconnect. You know how they forever going to do the disconnect between the sisters. You got the skinny ones versus the BBWs, and somebody put up the other day. You never see a BBW getting kidnapped. Hell nah, because we gonna put up a fight. We gonna go toe to toe with them. That's why.
nah, they gonna look for that easy target. They ain't trying. They don't want none of those problems.
They don't want none of them problems with us. Shout out to my skinny sisters. I got love for y'all. But definitely, like, I definitely would love to have the opportunity for you to come back on the show.
Oh,
Um,
definitely
Definitely gonna get you connected because we're gonna get you in there. And I know
appreciate that.
some of my people that are watching. I'm getting text messages, and once I connect you in Clubhouse, they gonna push you to write more. Watch, I'm telling you, when you get
Okay.
connected with them, they're gonna be like, okay. And especially, I'm gonna say shout out to Scott and Malikia because they are dope. I'm going to send you the link to the clubhouse tonight. So if you jump on, you jump on. If you don't, you don't. You could jump on and just listen, just see what it is. And you will see how it's definitely a safe space. But they going to push you.
Mm.
They going to push
Okay,
you.
that's what I'm talking about. 'Cause I
Yeah.
love the energy. I
Yeah.
love to be around that energy.
Yeah. And Scott, he got a way of just throwing out a writing prompt. So just be prepared. If he likes what you write, he will be like, you know what, brother, I got a writing prompt for you. So hold up. What Unc say? He said he dated a young lady who expected to be abused. Oh wow, because she experienced it by her parents. Like, yeah,
Wow.
like yeah, like
Yeah, sad.
that when I tell you to
Mm,
for anybody to think that it's okay to be abused, it's a problem.
yeah.
Nobody deserves that type of trauma. Nobody. No one, no man, no woman, no child deserves that. So I hope that, like in your line what you said about Ebony Rose, like even if she's not good for me, I hope she's good with someone else. Like people have to recognize that we are not possessions. Whatever
Hmm.
we did at that time in that relationship, if we're not good for each other, I hope that your next experience was better than me. You know what I'm saying? And then yeah, you got the narcissist. Oh, I'm the
Hmm.
prize. I'm the prize. But no, baby. That
Nah.
that brother done found a sister that's way better than you. And that sister
Hmm.
done found a brother that's way better than you. You is not the top notch. You is not filet mignon. That's not you. So, sometimes people have that air about themselves. And but I appreciate you. Your poetry is so refreshing. It is
Mm.
definitely enjoyable. I know on
Thanks, love.
Monday
Thanks.
they are going to be on me Monday morning. Just going to my car. They was like, "What's the link again? What time again?" I said, "If you don't catch it, it's a replay." So just in case, share your socials again for those before we head out.
All right, so you can pretty much find me on every platform. In fact, you still got that the present on the screen, that one I sent you.
Uh, Let me see.
I think it
The
was a little snapshot of my YouTube page that's got all everything on there because I can be found on everything, every medium: TikTok, Facebook, Instagram,
matter of
and of
fact,
course YouTube.
look, and as I'm talking, I go to my phone. They we got a group chat in the text messages, so they're like, "We on Sunshine, where you at?" but they know, and they know I don't interrupt energy, and they respect energy as well. But we are going to pull this up so that I can make sure that folks know it is soul. It is the soul of a man, 1980, right? On YouTube.
Reflections of a yeah, it's
Reflect,
gonna be reflections of a man's soul.
Reflection of a man's soul on YouTube.
Uh huh.
And then, because you even have a commercial on there for yourself for your book, right? Isn't that what
That's
I
correct.
saw? Yep, I saw that.
Yes, ma'am.
And so the poem is My Ebony Rose, The Sum of a Man. Y'all need to go to his page so that y'all can listen to that. And for brothers who don't know how to express their feelings, I will say the sum of a man is a good way. If you and your lady is beefing, you know how women like to send music. You know how they say if she in the house playing Luther, it's okay. But if she in the house playing, somebody else, you might want to turn back around and go the other way. So play this. Go to this brother's page on YouTube. If you and your lady is beefing and she just don't seem to understand you, when I tell you, because I witnessed it today, I can't say this enough. The sum of a man will, when I say that poem will pierce her to her soul, she gon' she gonna be, yes, daddy, what you need? What you need? Hand waiting on you, hand foot, okay? Because my homegirl says she got a lot of making up to do this weekend. She done got a whole big old meal plan. She taking him to the spa to get massages. She doing the whole thing for her man. So with that being said, brothers, don't say that Sunshine ain't trying to help, because I am. I'm bringing brothers on my platform that can help y'all with your communication aspect with your ladies if you ain't got it right just yet. Is there anyone that you want to shout out? I know Unc, he been rocking with us through the whole interview, but if there's anybody else that you want to shout out, you want to thank, you can do so now before we get up out of here.
Yes, I have a Miss Narisian McLeod, my special lady. I just
Hey,
definitely want to reach out to her. Definitely Unc. Unc has always been supportive. Love him to death. They got my boy David Weston on here. I haven't had the chance to see who else can support, but
It was Angie.
you know, oh
A
yes,
lot of people watch, but they don't comment. And I know he's been in and out. His connection is in and out, so we just lost him, but he might end up coming back on. But Angie, you were a delight. I appreciate you for commenting. And Unc, again, thank you. Uh I appreciate you as he spoke on you. You definitely like my Uncle Mike. And I appreciate those who love to pour into people. So go ahead and finish your thank yous and those that support you.
yes. All right, back on here, but yes, definitely a lot of support. Obviously, my mom's been very supportive of everything since the beginning. Always my biggest cheerleader, so always a shout out to her. All my people back in the Atlanta, Fairburn, Georgia area. Got a bunch of cousins that support it. So, family, friends, I'm blessed. I got a good little base of people around me. And again, I'm just trying to leave a little mark here. So, anytime you got a talent that you can share with other people, that's a blessing in itself. And of course, to you, shout out to you. I really appreciate having this opportunity, this platform to promote myself. And like you said, an opportunity to shine. So I
That's
definitely
right.
look forward to doing some more work with you and supporting you in all your endeavors and, learning some of your network and get into that. Definitely, I love what you do. Anytime people give a platform and try to help others, I respect that at the highest, level. That is true love right there, and we got to continue to do that for each other. Like Unc said, we got to work together and stop working against each other. So,
Yeah.
again, just much love for anybody that came on today, even people I don't know that came, and stayed on to watch me and support. I appreciate it. So, definitely look forward to some more in the future.
All right. And for those of you, yes, you can always catch he said, bless you and much love. You can also catch the replays. And just so you know, because I forgot to mention in the beginning of the show, Shine Vibrations podcast is live on YouTube via Twitter and Facebook as well. And for audio streaming, for those who can't watch YouTube, you can catch this interview and all my other interviews on now it's a list now. We are on Apple Podcasts, we are on Pod Paradise, we are on Google Podcasts, Podcast Addict, Pocket Cast, Podcast Index, Listening Notes, Stitcher, Pandora, Spotify, and Amazon Podcasts. So this interview, these are the platforms that everybody is now going to hear you on as well. And shout out to TikTok because I wouldn't have found him had it not been for TikTok.
Yes, yes. Shout out to TikTok as well.
So, yeah, so I appreciate you, beloved. Keep doing what you're doing. You definitely got another fan in me. And we definitely gonna be working together very soon. I'm gonna have you back on, possibly. I'm coming up with some new little things, so we might have a battle of the sexes just because.
Okay.
And I definitely want to make sure because you will be the balance. Your poetry, as I see it, will be the balance of the battle of the sexes. So that's why I definitely want to make sure that I bring you back for that.
Hey, I'm there.
All right. So, peace and blessings to all y'all. I want to say be safe this weekend because this is homecoming season.
Mhm.
I would be remiss if I did not say this, but please, please be safe out there. Be careful in these streets. Y'all already know the police ain't messing with us. We not messing with them like that. Stay in your safe spaces. If you must drink, please don't drive. It's too many Ubers, too many lifts out here for
Mhm.
y'all to take the keys and get behind the wheel. Okay? Peace and blessings, y'all.